Hello everybody, welcome back to the New York Control Cities. Today we'll be checking out Route 3, probably my favorite route in the state. We start out the intersection of Route 104B, in the freaking middle of nowhere, and we are assigned for Hannibal, which is not great. We meet up with Mainline 104, and we are assigned for Fulton, and it's assigned for Oswego, Rochester. Great job here. We meet up with 48 here, and it's not assigned for anywhere, which, because of the room, it's fine. Okay, we meet up with 49 now, and we're assigned for Mexico. No, not that Mexico. And 49 signed for Central Square, which aren't great. We meet up with 104 in Mexico, and we're now signed for Watertown, and 104 is signed for Oswego. So it gets good to a control city, so great job here. And we are continued to be signed for Watertown for a while. We meet up with Route 13, just outside of Polski. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Route 13 itself signed for Polski. So that's okay, because that's where Interstate 81 meets up. We continue to be signed for Watertown, so great job with being consistent. And then we go into Watertown, and Interstate 81 doesn't get control cities, but it's signed for Syracuse, Canada, which works. We meet up with Route 11 and 12, and we're assigned just for City Hall and Zoo, which, great job Watertown, that's a control city. But we have a concurrency with 12, but once we split off, we are assigned for Fort Drum, and 12 doesn't get control city, so okay. Meet up with Route 26, and we're assigned for DeFerrin. God darn it! When we meet up with Route 3A, we're assigned for Adirondack region, which is not a good control city. It's not even a city. In Carthage, we meet up with Route 126, which doesn't get control cities. And we meet up with 3A again, and it's signed for Watertown, which is an example of a control city working one way, but not working the other. Watertown works when you're going the other way on Route 3, because that's the way to get to Watertown. But if you're going from Carthage to Watertown, you're not going to go up on 3 that way and just turn on 3A. No, you would have just went up on 3 and go into Watertown. Meet up with 812 right outside Harrisville, and we are assigned for Ogdensburg because of 812. So we split off with Route 3. It's signed for Star Lake, which is okay. It would be better if it was Tupper Lake, but Star Lake's fine. Meet up with Route 58 in the kind of the middle of nowhere, and Route 58 is signed for Edward Governor, and we are signed for Star Lake, Cranberry Lake. Cranberry Lake does not work as a control city, god darn it. Wouldn't be surprised if Cranberry Lake becomes the Lima of this channel. Meet up with Route 56, and we're signed for Tupper Lake, and 56 is signed for Potsdam, so good control cities. Some pretty nice views between Route 56 and Tupper Lake. Once in Tupper Lake, we are signed for Saranac Lake, and 30 is signed for Long Lake. I'm not sure how I feel about Long Lake, but Saranac Lake is a good control city. We run a concurrency with Route 30, and now once we split off, it's signed for Lake Claire Junction, Saranac Inn, and Malone. Malone's the primary, so it's fine, and 3 is signed for Saranac Lake still, so that's fine. Once in Saranac Lake, we have some pretty nice views, and then we are signed for Plattsburgh, which is the way it should be. Meet up with former Route 99, and we continue to be signed for Plattsburgh, and 99 is signed for Moon Lake. Again, sorry about the quality, it's from 2008, and once we get into Plattsburgh, we have a weird intersection with 374, which we don't meet up with 374 directly. We get very close, but you have to use unsigned reference routes to get to 374. It has a weird exit type intersection. 374 is signed for Dannemora, and we're signed for Plattsburgh, which both are fine. We meet up with 190 right outside Plattsburgh, and 190 is just signed west-east, which is running north-south here, so it's already out of grid. So yeah, we meet up with Interstate 87 and signed for Albany, Montreal, which are the control cities they should be. We meet up with Route 22, and it doesn't even get signed! Oh my god, 22 is one of the most major state routes in the state. Why is it not signed? Once we meet up with US 9, it's the end of 3, and 9 is signed for nowhere because it's Plattsburgh. Here's Blake's the way it should be. So we should be signed for Fulton, Watertown, Fort Drum, Carthage, Ogdensburg, Tupper Lake, Saranac Lake, and Plattsburgh.